Hello, friends, and welcome into College Football Now. Today, we're taking a look at some Gus Malzahn replacements because the Auburn head coach, after frankly years of speculation, has indeed been fired by the Auburn Tigers. They made the move on Sunday. In the end, Gus went 68-35 in his tenure with the Tigers, but he never matched the magical first year that he had when they went 12-2 with a loss in the BCS national title game. This move, by the way, profoundly expensive for Auburn. A nearly $22 million buyout, and oh, by the way, that doesn't include the cost of assistant coaches like interim head coach Kevin Steele, the highest paid coordinator and assistant coach in college football. Auburn went 6-4 this year. Things were going in the wrong direction. The rumors had been out there for years now about Gus Malzahn possibly being fired by Auburn. And by the way, that 6-4 mark, it's a little bit deceptive because Auburn had two different wins gifted to them by the officials that frankly should have been losses on their mark. So was Auburn in the right to fire Gus Malzahn? Get your votes in here. Type Y for yes, they were, or you guys can type in N for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. As promised, it is time to dive into our top 10 candidate list, the top Gus Malzahn replacements out there. It's an interesting job. I think there will be some interest in it, both at the coordinator and the sitting head coach level. But we begin with number 10 on my list. That is Tony Elliott, the Clemson co-offensive coordinator, who's had interest from other teams in the past, has always chose to stick around, however. But the Auburn job might be enough to get him to leave. At the same time, does Auburn want to go with an unproven offensive coordinator? Maybe, maybe not. You can throw Brent Venables on here. I'm not convinced he's going to leave Clemson, at least not yet. Number 9, a sitting head coach. This is Luke Fickell out over at Cincinnati, doing a fantastic job, has been linked to jobs like, the Michigan one, for example, which is not yet open. I can see Auburn making a call, trying to lure Luke Fickell down south, but he's always been more of a Midwesterner. So because I think it makes some sense from a coaching skill perspective and a jump in terms of the level of job, Fickell might want to stick around for something a little bit closer to where he's spent really his entire coaching career. I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. Who do you think Auburn should hire? Not who they will, not who they won't, not who you want them to hire, but who should they end up hiring? If you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. Now, Matt Campbell would be a great hire for Auburn, but much like Luke Fickell, a very good head coach, has mostly spent his time in the Midwest. Iowa State's really the farthest he's been away from that Ohio-Michigan region. And Campbell is coveted not just by college coaches and teams, but by NFL teams as well. So Campbell's kind of in that Matt Rule category from last year with Baylor, who of course jumped ship to go to the Carolina Panthers. Maybe he wants to leave, but he doesn't have to. He can stick around and be patient there. He does not have to jump for just any job out there. I also want to make a note here, by the way. The job that Campbell has done at Iowa State is nothing short of incredible. He has done a fantastic job building that program up from being a bottom feeder in the Big 12 to potentially winning the Big 12 championship this year. Another name that kind of fits this Fickell-Campbell mold I wanted to mention briefly was Tom Allen. I don't think he's going to leave his alma mater, though, quite yet. Number 7, a kind of a surprising name, but I've seen this mentioned a lot, Dan Quinn, who will have NFL defensive coordinator interest, but also has experience working in the SEC. Remember, he was the Florida Gators defensive coordinator for a couple years back in the early 2010s. I think he might stick in the NFL, but if a team wants to pull him to the college ranks, Auburn could be a decent fit given how much time he's spent in that southeast area. I also want to mention another former head coach, Bill O'Brien. Not the route I would go, though, if I were the Auburn Tigers, so I did not include him on this list. Now, we're going to keep you covered here by letting you know everything going on around college football. Rumors, recruiting. This National Signing Day is a couple days away. We'll break all that down. Other head coach candidate lists, because guess what? There will be more fired, and there are some we still need to get to on our plate. So if you want to make a good decision, much like I think Auburn firing Gus Malzahn, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Number 6 on our list, Lane Kiffin, and I don't know about this one, but I've seen it mentioned by a lot of the other reporters out there. Look, former Saban assistant, he also just got to Ole Miss. And that's kind of what got Lane Kiffin in trouble in the past. He would jump jobs way too quickly. I know he's only 45 years old, and the Auburn job is better than the Ole Miss gig. But at a certain point, maybe Kiffin should just stick with one job and see how that goes for a little bit. And if you're Auburn, maybe Kiffin isn't the type of guy you want after just firing Gus Malzahn. Number 5, the highest rated coordinator on this list, that is Steve Sarkisian, the OC at Alabama. I love me some Sark after dark. And look, Sark, I think, might end up being one of the best members and graduates of the Nick Saban School for Coaches Who Can't Coach Good and wanted to do other stuff good too. He's done a great job as that Bama offensive coordinator. His Pac-12 tenure it didn't end well, let's put that delicately, but I think he's earned himself another chance at a head coaching gig. I'm not convinced it's Auburn. Maybe Arizona makes a little bit more sense for him, but he checks in here at number 5. Now, we got some deals for you guys. College football face masks are not 20% off, not 25, not 30, 35% off at chatsports.com/CFB mask. You Auburn fans, they got this awesome 2-pack right here. And if you're not an Auburn Tigers fan, don't worry. We got you guys covered. There are a ton of college team face coverings out there. You can check out the full assortment at chatsports.com/CFB masks. And don't worry, I'll get that link in the comments and in the description for you guys. Let's go to number 4. Look, I am probably higher on Bill Clark than anyone else, but you know what? That is a hill I will die on. What Clark has been able to do at UAB, I think really is one of the best coaching jobs in recent memory. This team was defunct. They were closed. And Bill Clark comes back and is competing for conference titles. What Clark has done specifically in the state of Alabama for years now, which I think should matter for Auburn, I think makes him a logical candidate. Now, is he the biggest, most household name out there? No, absolutely. But if I'm Auburn, I'm at least going to interview him. Number 3, Billy Napier, the head coach over at Louisiana. I thought he was going to be a serious candidate for the South Carolina job. He did interview, but they went in a different direction. Another Nick Saban assistant. If you're looking for that new, young, talented, promising group of 5 head coach, Billy Napier really ranks to the top of almost every team's list, and there will be interest from him, or for him, I should say, from other major college football teams. Now, I think we look at the jobs currently open in the college football landscape. I think the Auburn one is the best job out there. But where does it rank on a scale of 1 to 10? This is a team willing to spend, as you just saw with the buyout for Gus Malzahn, but they also haven't had the sustained success you're looking for. And if you don't beat Alabama enough, which is very difficult to do, you're going to end up getting fired. So I want you guys to do it for me. Rate the Auburn head coaching job on a scale of 1 to 10. Number 2 on my list, Mario Cristobal, who has been heavily mentioned for almost every kind of southeastern job that ends up popping up, given his ties to that area before he went to Oregon. Now, Cristobal's done a great job of recruiting, and I know Oregon fans like him quite a bit. A little underwhelmed, at least for me. I think some of his coaching decisions in terms of the staff haven't been the best. I think if there's a little bit too much similarity here to Gus Malzahn, he can recruit, absolutely. I think he's going to be a solid head coach. I'm just not sure he's the guy to take Auburn to that next step that this team and this program is clearly searching for. At number 1, I'm going with Hugh Freeze, the head coach over at Liberty. Now, I know there's the off-the-field stuff that you have to be concerned about. There was the show cause penalty at Ole Miss, which is now expired. But you know what? Auburn has gambled on a similar head coach in the past. Basketball, Bruce Pearl, Tennessee to Auburn, that worked out pretty well. Hugh Freeze is going to get another shot. And if you're Auburn and you're trying to make a gamble, you're trying to go all in and be better than just an 8 or 9 win program, you kind of have to swing for the fences. And I think that's what Hugh Freeze is. There's a lot of the off-the-field stuff that they're going to have to vet and all of that. And maybe Tennessee ends up lurking for Hugh Freeze as well here. But I think if you're the Auburn Tigers and you're trying to replace Gus Malzahn, Hugh Freeze has actually done that before, by the way, and it could make some sense in the end. So I put Hugh Freeze at number 1, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section.